Hello everybody, what's going on? Welcome to this new episode of Non-Serious Gaming. It's kind of unusual actually to have two episodes, or to do another episode of Non-Serious Gaming 2 weeks in a row. Well, I'm doing this exceptionally. I don't know when it's gonna get repeated once again. But in any case, I really hope you enjoyed the Shinobi episode that I uploaded last week. And this week we got something, let's say, different. I usually do platformers and side-scrollers in general, but I don't usually do fighting games different from Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat on my different channels. So today I'm gonna be taking a look at NeoGeo Battle Coliseum for the PlayStation 2. This is, by the way, post-commentary, because if there is something I don't really like to do is to do live commentary for fighting games, especially fighting games that I haven't played before, because this is gonna be the first time, if not the last, I don't know. And as you can see, there is Metal Slug characters as well. It's probably gonna be the last time also I'm gonna be playing this game in a long time, because yeah, here comes a little spoiler. It's really nothing extraordinary in any sense.
NeoGeo Battle Coliseum.
I mean, it's not just characters from the King of Fighters, but also from other SNK games, including Metal Slug, which is not even a fighting game. And I'm gonna take a look at the options first, because of course SNK got a reputation for having hard-ass fighting games in general. So I am lowering it to level 2 out of 8. I'm not playing on the easiest difficulty because I don't think it's really necessary to... I mean, I would like to have at least a little bit of a challenge. So we have... I don't really know all of these guys. I mean, I can identify just a few. We have Haomaru from Samurai Showdown, which I have decided to play as, and these characters are familiar, many of them at least. Terry, I think it's Sojo. We have Marco from Metal Slug, Geese Howard, Mr. Big. I mean, basically you will find characters from the King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown, probably The Last Blade, which is another fighting game by SNK based on sword fighting. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing as Terry, traditional, generic, Ryo-like character, of course, with different characteristics. I'm gonna play as Terry first. I don't know, I don't think I said this already, but I'm gonna be taking this opportunity, since it's gonna be kind of a shorter episode of Non-Serious Gaming compared to others. It's usually an hour long, this is gonna be shorter than that. Probably gonna take this chance to do some updates, like minor updates or maybe major updates during the commentary. But as you can see, it's pretty much like, for example, we have in the King of Fighters series, we usually have teams of 3 fighters. But in this one, we have only 2. And I think if one of them gets defeated, the fight is over. Pretty much something that happens in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I mean, the battle system is the same. Graphically, of course, we couldn't expect something really improved or better than what it already was, graphically speaking, on the NeoGeo. And here we have a compilation of fighting characters from different series. Well, the King of Fighters itself was a compilation of, sort of compilatory series, taking characters from different fighting series, Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, among others. But in here we have a wider variety of games. And as you can see, I'm pretty much raping all of these guys with Haomaru, or playing as Haomaru. I guess because sword attacks tend to be more powerful, so that's why I'm changing basically to not to kill them in such a predictable way. And as you can see, apparently killing a single character doesn't make you move to the next stage. You have to defeat them all. Oh no, now I beat the stage. There was one character remaining, but apparently they didn't make me fight against him or her.
Battle bonus.
I don't know, I had this game on the PlayStation 2 and I was like, okay, I feel like doing non-serious gaming episode on whatever PlayStation 2 or maybe Dreamcast or GameCube generation, you know, from that generation specifically. And almost I ended up playing this game at random. Sometimes I'm gonna be playing something longer that would take many episodes, like it happened, for example, playing New Super Mario Bros. U, which was technically the first game that I covered entirely, 100% on non-serious gaming. Well, wasn't this girl from Summoner Showdown precisely? Actually, I can look it up right now since I am pretty much recording the commentary using one computer and I have this new computer that I got a few days ago. So I don't know, NeoGeo Battle Coliseum, I think that's the best way to go. And I'm especially curious about this one robot. Sorry about that. Cyber Woo. Oh, it's from the King of the Monsters. Okay, this game really covers a lot of games then. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like this game did very well in the sense that it's not that popular. I mean, it isn't a Capcom game. Athena. I think I've seen this girl before. Let me take a look at Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. Yeah, it's a 2-on-2. Well, I mean, in theory it's a 2-on-2 fighting game, but as you could see, I was supposed to fight a third guy. There is a third guy in the team, but apparently I don't get to fight him. I think as long as you defeat two of them, as you can see, you can move to the next... to the next stage in this case, see? So this game was also released on... I mean, it was originally released on the arcade, then on PlayStation 2, and also on Xbox Live Arcade in 2010. So you get services pretty much like it happened in the King of Fighter games. Mars people, it's kind of funny, yeah, Mars people, you know, from Metal Slug, the enemies from Metal Slug. So we have characters from the King of Fighters, from Fatal Fury. Well, they didn't consider King of Fighters as a whole, but their individual series. For example, Terry, Geese Howard, being the final boss of Fatal Fury. Art of Fighting, Samurai Showdown, Last Blade, as I thought there are 4 characters from it. There are 3 characters from, well, Heroes. Well, by the way, Robert, you know, is from Art of Fighting, but I think he also got released on the King of Fighters later on. Also from King of the Monsters 2 specifically, Cyber Woo. And yeah, we have Marco and Mars people from Metal Slug, and Athena from the game that has the same name. Classic SNK game. I think Athena got also featured in some fighting games. So yeah, we got a variety of games. All of these games, I already knew them in advance. Not necessarily play them all, but I knew of course about Metal Slug, which I would like to do pretty soon on my channel. I knew of course about Samurai Showdown, Art of Fighting, Fatal Fury, Metal Slug, as I said before, Last Blade as well. Yeah, unfortunately, I would say unfortunately because these games have great potential, you know, graphic or music-wise, but I'm sure it wasn't as popular, unless it's just my own perception. And that was a nice finisher.
You win.
I haven't done many specials, if any, so far. There is a character from Aggressors of Dark Combat. That's a game that I've heard of by name, but never played it myself or even seen it in action. So yeah, I'm pretty much using a very generic team myself. Terry, you know, which is the character that is easy to play as. It was easy to play as on I mean, easy in quotation marks, because Fatal Fury wasn't really a good fighting game in my opinion. Probably the arcade was good enough, but the console ports weren't solid, in my opinion. I played them both. Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. And on the other hand, we have Haomaru, like... I don't know if the protagonist of Samurai Shodown, but at least we can say it's like the character that is easy to pick. It gets featured in all 5 Samurai Shodown games. I think there were 5. I mean, you can tell by the blades, swords, things like that, that this character is... I mean, Shiki specifically is from Samurai Shodown, but you can deduce it's either from The Last Blade or Samurai Shodown in this case. I know this guy. Lee. Wait, I fought this guy in Fatal Fury, right? Unless I'm getting confused. Oh, this is from Art of Fighting. Yeah, I did Art of Fighting on Chilean Programmer 2 over a year ago, so yeah, that's why he looked familiar to me. As you can see, I know very little things about SNK fighting games in general. I have played bits and pieces. Another guy with a blade. Yeah, I was pointing out at the beginning, I probably caused more damage playing as Haomaru because of the sword itself. So it's kind of unfair to make 5 guys with blades and guys without them. So this guy is Washizuka from the Last Blade. Keiichiro Washikusa, or Wachizuka rather. I never ran out of time, that's weird. It didn't happen before. I think I've been taking the same amount of time. And apparently, this is the final boss. Why have you come here? My name is Mitsuchi. You mortals are destined to die. I'll send your souls back to Gaia. Let us return to nothingness. Mitsuchi, huh? So I would like to know who this guy is really. A clone of Orochi from the King of Fighters 97. Okay, I'm reading this here and it says there are 4 different bosses, but the only one I got to fight was Mitsuchi. Actually, they say that there is a real final boss called Goodman. And as you can see, I'm getting my ass kicked. Usually these bosses, I mean, it happens with... The most notable example I can remember is Rugal from the King of Fighters with this cutting kick that you couldn't get near him because with that kick fucked you up. Pretty much like these blades, you know. All of these bosses have very similar characteristics, in my opinion. So they use a cutting attack, some sort of blades or blade-based attack with range. So you cannot get near the enemy or as often as you would like.
Continue?
Yes, I'm gonna continue. And as I said before, they give you services as bonus rewards and also to weaken the bosses or to weaken the enemies. I mean, I could have chosen immediately to fight a boss with a quarter of energy. You know, the boss having a quarter of his energy. Which, a lot of people would say that's cheating, but hello, the game is providing you these services. Why shouldn't you take them? Unless you are some sort of idiot that takes video games seriously. Which I don't. So does the enemy recovers health? Kinda. I mean, no. But yeah, this is the blade I'm talking about. I mean, you have been able to see it all the time. But it can use range as well. Thing is, we don't only deal with blades, but also this thunder. That again can fall in any direction. I guess there is a pattern, but I really don't think I will have the time or the patience to study such patterns. See, it's very, very difficult to get near the guy. And apparently when one of your characters gets defeated by the boss, the fight is over. Which is fair considering I'm only fighting one guy. So that's why I have to like switch before, well, in this case Terry got defeated. As you can see, Haomar also got fucked in the ass. Well, technically I got fucked in the ass because I was playing. But yeah, Mitsuchi, I mean, all of these bosses apparently are new to the game, are not really taken from previous games. They are similar to other bosses featured in one of these fighting games from by SNK, but in theory these are new guys. It says a clone of Orochi. Basically, it's like fighting Orochi, but it's not Orochi. So there is a boss. Yeah, we have this boss from King of Fighters 97. And I think I'm going for the quarter opponent slide. So we have this other guy called King Lion.
You win!
I just got a phone call. Of course I wasn't going to finish the recording for answering that. So that's why I decided to mute my microphone, but actually there was nothing new to tell, other than, yeah, the boss got less energy, enough for me to defeat him. So technically I win by quote-unquote cheating. I insist, the game gives you those services. Again, unless you are some sort of idiot that takes video games seriously, probably you would reject such offers. And if the game really believed gaming was a serious business, they wouldn't offer you anything. Yeah, with $sign. Otherwise, probably the game will censor it. And you will see an example of that at the end, because I'm gonna do another run. Yeah, you can play as Athena. Now you can unlock characters depending on... I guess the boss will change depending on the level of difficulty you play on. So I'm playing tag play to see the difference. I was playing arcade mode in theory. So let me try somebody else. So we got the Rock Howard from... Well, I remember him from Garou, Mark of the Wolves. They say Rock is from Fatal Fury, which is... Yeah, and also Terry is using the design from Garou, Mark of the Wolves. That's why it looked a bit different from... Well, speaking of which... And I'm using Iori, which is one of the characters that appeared in King of Fighters series. He didn't belong to any series previous to that, I think. I'm trying to test this out to see if I can get to work as special. Yeah, the tag play doesn't work, you know, like being able to defeat 2 out of the 3 guys, or like to make pauses in between fights. That's probably the difference. It's like Marvel vs. Capcom. Once you defeat an enemy, the other one immediately gets to fight. And as you can see, I'm fighting Marco, which, well, in this game obviously looks much taller than in Metal Slug. I could have chosen this guy, but I tested him out, you know, testing the controls playing as Marco. I didn't get to work any technique. I mean, not that like I am really showing a plethora of moves playing as these other guys, but honestly I didn't feel like it was worth playing as Marco. So fighting Kyo and Mr. Character. Mr. Karate is from Art of Fighting. And I think Kyo is also from the Art of Fighting, or maybe from King of Fighters as an exclusive character. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Kyo also got similar attacks to Iori. Basically, fire-based attacks. Wait. Didn't Mr. Character actually wear a mask? I think so. Yes. This guy wore a mask. I'm looking it up right now. Yes, Mr. Character is supposed to be Ryo's persona. So believe it or not, this game's got, I wouldn't say a deep plot, but it got plots. And of course I consider myself very ignorant at such details. I mean, I play games for the gameplay, not for the story most of the time. By the way, the girl is, or the CPU is spamming that combo button or that punch button. It wasn't me. You might think those sort of moves from the player itself and not from the computer, but in this case the computer did it, not me. I haven't been able to get to work any special as Rock, just this fire attack. Actually, this looks more similar to Iori's fire attack, and Terry's as well. You know, this little fire that goes through the floor. Well, isn't Rock like Terry's brother? No, just getting them mixed up. The last name is different. Terry Bogard and Rock Howard. Not Rock Bogard as I thought. Yeah, reading at this wiki definitely gives me a lot more input on story. It's kind of intriguing, to say the least. I'm curious about knowing more about it, but I don't know. And apparently tag play isn't that much of a difference, except that there isn't, again, breaks in between fights. That feature of taking breaks in between fights, it's very common in SNK fighting games, right? In Samurai Shodown, King of Fighters, to say a couple of examples, noticeable examples. But in this case, yeah, it works like pretty much in Marvel vs. Capcom. One of the enemies gets defeated and the other one immediately gets to fight. Which is actually better in my opinion, because I mean, why would you even like to wait or take some sort of break in between fights? Genjudo Kibagami from Samurai Shodown. So I told you I was going to take this opportunity to do a little update. I mean, not a major update, because I've been talking about actually this game sort of for a long period of time. But yeah, in the next weeks, if not next week, probably in the next weeks, probably 2 weeks from now, I would say, I'm gonna be doing not only one replay, but probably 3 replays. Because I'm trying to get rid of many longer games as soon as possible, and then we can focus on arcade games. I think I said some of this previously, but yeah, I wanted to get clear about this, so for you not to get surprised if you see a second replay being done at the same time, parallel to, Just a Gravity 2, and a third one perhaps. There's a mirror match, huh? Actually, there isn't so much to say. If I have to make updates on anything, I would prefer to focus my attention on stuff happening on this channel. And of course, whenever I have the time and the energy and the willingness, I will be doing another long episode of Non-Serious Gaming. Again, this is kind of an accidental thing. I mean, I wanted to do some game from this generation of games, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, or GameCube. But yeah, I mean, I usually pick at random. I don't like to go through my collection of games and say, okay, I want to play this and not this. I prefer just to pick it at random. If it is a good game, cool. If it isn't a very good game, well, cool too, so we get it off the way. But this game is mediocre in my opinion. It's a generic fighting game. It's like, I don't know if you have ever played Capcom Fighting Evolution or Fighting Jam, as it was called in some other places. It's something like that, because you might say, oh my god, it's Capcom, it's gonna be great. It's like tag team taking fighters from different Capcom game series. Only Capcom, nothing to do with Marvel. From Street Fighter 2, from Street Fighter 3, from Red Earth, from Street Fighter Alpha, some other that I might be forgetting. But it was kind of a disappointing game too. I mean, super predictable, super generic. It just compiles a few. I mean, it's basically more Street Fighter plus a couple of other fighter series. That's it.
You win!
どこまでもあがいてやる。
I don't know if everybody planned to call me to my cell phone in the middle of my commentary, because I have received 2 calls. That's why I have muted this 2 times. But again, unfortunately, this is not a game that really allows me to or forces me to talk so much about this. But as you can see, I'm fighting the same guy, and I guess I can try my best to beat this guy when having full health, but I see this not happening. Yeah, the thing is, I am recording post-commentary from a previously recorded video, clearly, and I'm using a method that doesn't allow me to pause the recording, unfortunately, so I have to let it keep going. So that's why I have muted twice. Besides, this is non-serious gaming, and the non-serious part also applies to the commentary, right? Excuses. Well, this time I'm not using Haomaru, so it's kind of more difficult to hit this guy. Remember Haomaru? I mean, it's broken in the good way, right? Like, it causes more damage. That's the impression I got.
Continue. Character select.
So yeah, because of that, Haomaru probably is the way to go. Or the character to choose for the fact. I'm gonna start playing as Yuri though, because I'll try to deal as much damage as I can as the weaker, let's say, character, and then finish him off with Haomaru. I'm already using this service because I don't see myself beating this guy. I mean, just imagine if I am having this much trouble against the final boss on level 2 of difficulty, because I didn't modify the difficulty in between playthroughs. So imagine what's gonna happen if I played it on normal mode or even the harder difficulties. I haven't been able to deal a couple of... I mean, oh my god! I forgot bosses can also use specials. I don't think I pointed this out, but yeah, the music for this final boss is kind of... I don't know. That was very close. Sounds like Castlevania. Castlevania Symphony of the Night style. I don't know. You probably think the same. But yeah, basically I repeated the playthrough expecting to fight another boss, but probably that goes with the difficulty. Or maybe it will depend on the characters you choose. I don't know, there could be several factors. But apparently there are 4 final bosses, and yeah, I mean, this is like the most basic final boss you can ever encounter. Synthetic life provided by Juarez. Yeah, Juarez is the, let's say, organization that created this guy, and they already let you know that there is a true enemy. So I insist, I'm sure it has to do with the difficulty you choose. So I guess for the ones who are really digging this sort of game, we'll try to, you know, play through this game many times on the different difficulties. And as you can see, I tried to put fag, and the game noticed that, and it got censored. So let me see. Oh, okay, I unlocked Mars people. What else can we see? We'll have a practice mode, survival challenge. You know what the survival is, basically to fight as many guys as possible with a single energy bar. I mean, I think that's what it is. And we have graphic select. I haven't unlocked anything. I'm pretty sure this image right here was available from the beginning, unless I unlocked it by beating the game once. But I guess you get different arts depending on how many... Okay, this is artwork actually. But you know, these galleries are usually unlocked by beating the game on different difficulties or beating the game as different characters as well. I don't see anyone familiar. I mean, I see a bunch of like anime-ish characters, but not that I... Yeah, we got the endings. Of course, the endings will depend on the characters I played as. But wait a minute. I got the same ending by defeating the same final boss, but it didn't adapt the ending to the specific character I beat it as. I beat the boss the 2 times as Haomaru. Oh, probably it does depend on the character, I don't know. But yeah, it's text. I mean, again, you probably, in order to enjoy the ending in a way, probably you should be familiar in advance with the plot, unfortunately. So that's why it's I don't feel fully comfortable playing SNK fighting games. I mean, back then and now as well. Casually, you know, playing them casually, like any, you know, particular or any specific arcade game. And also credits. We didn't see the credits in the previous 2 playthroughs. Again, I'm sure it has to do with the difficulty. So yeah, this is pretty much the end of this episode. Strange episode to say the least, because I usually don't do post commentary in my videos in general. But again, I didn't feel like doing live commentary for this sort of game. Whatever. I don't think it was unsuccessful or anything like that, but yeah, that's it for now. As I said before, probably I'm gonna be starting, if not this starting week, probably the next one. I will be doing a second and probably a third replay done simultaneously.